Hello, good afternoon, everyone. This is Cynthia Gwiazda coming to you from the Hagaman Memorial Library to discuss some new adult fiction that we have available at the library this April. So I'm excited to share that with you. I'm going to start just a second here. Okay. Okay. So some new and featured fiction available this April at the library. So the first book I'd like to talk with you about is called One of the Girls by Lucy Clark. It was supposed to be the perfect weekend away. 6 very different women traveled to a sun-soaked Greek island for a bachelorette trip to celebrate Lexi's upcoming wedding. From the glorious ocean views to the quaint tavernous and whitewashed streets, the vacation seems too good to be true, but dangerous undercurrents run beneath the sunset swims and midnight cocktails. Because each of the women is hiding a secret, someone is determined to make sure that Lexi's marriage never happens, and that one of them doesn't leave the island alive. Gripping, twisty, and full of sun-soaked suspense, this timely thriller examines the joys of female friendship, as well as the deadly consequences when a relationship goes wrong. That's called One of the Girls by Lucy Clark. The next book is called A Castle in Brooklyn, and that's by Shirley Russick Wachtel. In 1944 Poland, Jacob Stein and Zalman Mendelssohn meet as boys under terrifying circumstances. They survive by miraculously escaping, but their shared past haunts and shapes their lives forever. Years later, Zalman plows a future on a Minnesota farm, and in Brooklyn, Jacob has a new life with his wife, Esther. When Zalman travels to New York City to reconnect, Jacob's hopes for the future are becoming a reality. With Zalman's help, they build a house for Jacob's family and for Zalman, who decides to stay. Modest and light-filled, inviting and warm with acceptance for all of them, it's a castle to call home. Then an unforeseeable tragedy and the grief, betrayals, and revelations in its wake threatens to destroy what was once an unbreakable bond, and Esther finds herself at a crossroads. A Castle in Brooklyn is a moving and heartfelt immigration story about finding love and building a home and family while being haunted by a traumatic past. That's called A Castle in Brooklyn by Shirley Russick Wachtel. The next book is called Earth's the Right Place for Love by Elizabeth Berg. Nola McCollum is the most desirable girl in Arthur's class, and he is thrilled when they become friends. But Arthur wants far more than friendship. Unfortunately, Nola has a crush on the wrong Moses, Arthur's older brother Frank, who is busy pursuing his own love interest and avoiding the boy's father, a war veteran with a drinking problem and a penchant for starting fights. When a sudden tragedy rocks the family's world, Arthur struggles to come to terms with his grief. In the end, it is nature that helps him to understand how to go on beyond loss and to create a life of forgiveness and empathy. But what can he do about Nola, who seems confused about what she wants in life and only half aware of the one who loves her most? Full of unforgettable characters and written with Elizabeth Berg's characteristic warmth, humor, and insight into people, Earth's the Right Place for Love is about the power of kindness, character, and family, and how love can grow when you least expect it. That's called Earth's the Right Place for Love by Elizabeth Berg. And the next book I'd like to talk to you about is called Small World by Laura Zigman. A year after her divorce, Joyce is settling into being single again. She likes her job archiving family photos and videos, and she's developed a secret, comforting hobby, trolling the neighborhood social networking sites called Small World for posts that help solve life's easiest problems. When her older sister Lydia, also divorced, calls to tell her she's moving back east from Los Angeles after almost 30 years away, Joyce invites Lydia to move into her Cambridge apartment temporarily, just until she finds a place of her own. But their unlikely cohabitation, not helped by annoying new neighbors upstairs, turns out to be the post-divorce rebound relationship Joyce hadn't planned on. Instead of forging the bond she always dreamed of having with Lydia, their relationship frays. And they rarely discuss the loss of their sister Eleanor, who was significantly disabled and died when she was only 10 years old. When new revelations from their family's history come to light, will those secrets further split them apart or course correct their connection for the future? Written with wry humor and keen sensitivity, Small World is a powerful novel of sisterhood and hope, a reminder that sometimes you have to look back in order to move forward. That's called Small World by Laura Zigman. The next book is called Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes. The only mortal in a family of gods, Medusa is the youngest of the Gorgon sisters. Unlike her siblings, Medusa grows older, experiences change, feels weakness. Her mortal lifespan gives her an urgency that her family will never know. When the sea god Poseidon attacks Medusa in Athena's temple, the goddess is enraged. Furious by the violation of her sacred space, Athena takes revenge on the young woman. Punished for Poseidon's actions, Medusa is forever transformed. Writhing snakes replace her hair, and her gaze will turn any living creature to stone. Cursed with the power to destroy all, she loves with one look. She's cursed with the power to destroy all she loves with one look. Medusa condemns herself to a life of solitude, until Perseus embarks upon a fateful quest to fetch the head of a Gorgon. In Stone Blind, classicist and comedian Natalie Haynes turns our understanding of this legendary myth on its head, bringing empathy and nuance to one of the earliest stories in which a woman, injured by a powerful man, is blamed, punished, and monstered for the assault. Delving into the origins of this mythic tale, Haynes revitalizes and reconstructs Medusa's story with her passion and fierce wit, offering a timely retelling of this classic myth that speaks to us today. That's called Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes. The next book is called Blackwater Falls by Uzma Zahan Khan. From critically acclaimed author Uzma Zahanat Khan, Blackwater Falls is the first in a timely and powerful crime series, introducing Detective Inaya Raman. Girls from immigrant communities have been disappearing for months in the Colorado town of Blackwater Falls, but the local sheriff is slow to act, and the fates of the missing girls largely ignored. At last, the calls for justice become too loud to ignore when the body of a star student and refugee, the Syrian teenager Razan Al-Qadr, is positioned deliberately in a mosque. Detective Inaya Rahman and Lieutenant Waqis Sief and the Denver police are recruited to solve Razan's murder and quickly uncover a link to other missing and murdered girls. But as Inaya gets closer to the truth, Sief finds ways to obstruct the investigation. Inaya may be drawn to him, but she's wary of his motives. He may be covering up the crimes of their boss, whose connections in Blackwater run deep. Inaya turns to her female colleagues, attorney Arisha Adams and Detective Catalina Hernandez, for help in finding the truth. The three have bonded through their experiences as members of vulnerable groups, and now they must work together to expose the conspiracy behind the murders before another girl disappears. Delving deep into racial tensions, the police corruption and violence, Blackwater Falls examines a series of crimes within the context of contemporary American politics with compassion and with searing insight. That's called Blackwater Falls by Uzma Zahanat Khan. The next book is called West with Giraffes, and that's by Linda Rutledge. Woodrow Wilson Nickel, age 105, feels his life ebbing away. But when he learns giraffes are going extinct, he finds himself recalling the unforgettable experience he cannot take to his grave. It's 1938. The Great Depression lingers. Hitler is threatening Europe, and world weary Americans long for wonder. They find it in two giraffes who miraculously survive a hurricane while crossing the Atlantic. What follows is a 12-day road trip in a custom truck to deliver Southern California's first giraffes to the San Diego Zoo. Behind the wheel is the young Dust Bowl rowdy Woodrow. Inspired by true events, the tale weaves real-life figures with fictional ones, including the world's first female zoo director, a crusty old man with a past, a young female photographer with a secret, and assorted reprobates as spotty as the giraffes. Part adventure, part historical saga, and part coming-of-age love story, West with Giraffes explores what it means to be changed by the grace of animals, the kindness of strangers, the passing of time, and a story told before it's too late. That's called West with Giraffes by Linda Rutledge. The next book is called Mother, Daughter, Traitor, Spy, and that's by Susan Elia McNeill. June 1940. France has fallen to the Nazis, and Britain may be next. But to many Americans, the war is something happening over there. Veronica Grace has just graduated from college. She and her mother, Violet, are looking for a fresh start in sunny Los Angeles. After a blunder cost her a prestigious career opportunity in New York, Veronica is relieved to take a typing job in LA, only to realize that she's working for one of the area's most vicious propagandists. Overnight, Veronica is exposed to the dark underbelly of her new home, where German Nazis are recruiting Americans for their devastating campaign. After the FBI dismisses the Grace's concerns, Veronica and Violet decide to call on an old friend who introduces them to LA's anti-Nazi spy master. At once, the women go undercover to gather enough information about the California Reich to take to the authorities. But as the news of Pearl Harbor ripples through the United States and President Roosevelt declares war, the Grace women realize that the plots they're investigating are far more sinister than they feared, and even a single misstep could cost them everything. Inspired by the real mother-daughter spy duo who foiled Nazi plots in Los Angeles during World War II, Mother-Daughter Traitor Spy is a powerful portrait of family, duty, and deception that raises timeless questions about America and what it means to have courage in the face of terror. That's called Mother, Daughter, Traitor, Spy by Susan Elia McNeill. And that's it for our book talk featuring our new fiction available at the library this month of April. So thank you very much for tuning in, and please follow the Hagaman Library online for more recommendations and library goodness. So our handles are on Facebook and YouTube, and for now Twitter are at Hagaman Library. Instagram, it's at Hagaman_East Haven. Please let us know in the comments what's made your to be read list and what you're currently reading. So thank you very much for joining me this afternoon to talk about our new fiction. And I hope to see you all soon at the library. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.